Yes, I meant it. Yeah, man, I went too cold. Yeah.
So the way this piece kind of came to be, he came to me with very, very general concept of what he wanted, and he actually showed me a reference photo of what was already on somebody. And if you're in the tattoo industry and you're a professional tattoo artist, you're not going to use the exact reference that somebody else shows you, or a tattoo that's already on somebody, you're not copying it exactly. If you're doing that, you're not a tattoo artist, you're a tattooist, you're copying. That's what it is. So when you're doing realism, you're a printer. You're copying exactly what you see on the paper, you're putting it right on skin, right? There's less creativity that goes into the actual tattooing process, and more so your creativity is shown on how you structure the piece and put the piece together. So if you are generally using somebody else's idea, which your client came in with, if that's a tattoo that's already on skin, you want to try and make it as different as possible while still keeping that general concept, especially if they love that piece. And as a tattoo artist, you know, they will not let go of that piece sometimes. They want exactly what somebody else has. Me, I will not do it. I'll refuse it. So if they come in and I have it booked and they want exactly what somebody else has, I'll tell them no. So with this piece, the general concept that he showed me was the Nordic Compass and a tree. Very, very similar. Very different reference photo for the compass, very, very different reference photo for the tree. I actually created this tree reference by using AI. I'm a big advocate for utilizing AI as long as it comes out realistic and it actually looks correct when it comes down to how a tree is structured in real life. I will use it, but I'm checking everything. I'm making sure the branches don't look fucking wonky. I'm making sure the texture of the tree looks proper. I'm looking at every single little thing. Original to you, so it's a one-of-one piece for the client himself. So he's walking around knowing there is nobody else on this planet with that same exact tattoo. Utilizing AI, it's giving you a one-of-one photo that no one has ever seen before because it's generated on the spot. So that's why I prefer to use AI and utilize AI for not all of my pieces, but majority of my pieces. So working with this piece, getting this photo, this tree reference photo, is very, very easy to get out of AI. You gotta understand what you're saying to chat, because at sometimes it is like a different language almost. As long as you prompt it right, your challenge will get exactly what you need. So in my opinion, I don't think anybody should copy a tattoo that somebody else has. Essentially, word for word, detail for detail. If somebody already has it on their skin, don't use that as a reference. Don't make a stencil based off of a tattoo that somebody has on their skin. I feel like that's wrong. What I'm seeing right now, for me, I just want to teach people. I want to be able to give people a future that I didn't have, considering when I was getting to the industry, not a lot of people were educational, not a lot of people were teaching the way that a lot of the people in the industry are now teaching, such as Deanna Art, John Nelson, Pony. Pony's been critiquing fucking pieces for the longest fucking time on YouTube. Like, I learned a lot off him just by him picking other people's art apart. I think a lot of the industry is taking that step towards education, taking that step towards not gatekeeping, because that's a very old idea that was set by some of the originals in the industry. A lot of people believe that that's the right way to do it. I don't really fully agree with that. I think some things are more industry only. Like if you're in the industry and you've been in the industry, it's only information you're gonna know. However, if someone's looking to get into the industry, there's so many shops that gatekeep information for apprentices, as apprentices. Everything is so tight knit. I don't think it has to be that way. I think that someone wants to learn how to tattoo. If there's an 18-year-old kid out there wanting to tattoo and he can't find any information, goes to college, wastes money, still wants to tattoo, tries to get an apprenticeship, can't get an apprenticeship, he's shit out of luck. So now a lot of people are moving into that education space. Not only education, but free education space. At the end of the day, a lot of people think, oh, if I give this information out for free, I don't have an advantage. Not everybody is going to utilize what you give them, period. There's people out there that are gonna listen, they're gonna watch your video. That video might get 1 million views. 10 people might actually implement what you're talking about. So you're not taking away your own advantage. You're not fucking the industry up by giving out the information on how to shade properly, how to use this needle properly, how to do this. Because you're only helping people. The more people you help, the better you're doing for this industry and for this fucking society. Bring artists together, not separate them. That's truly what I believe. Because again, not everybody's built for this shit. Not everybody's made for this shit. So those people that you're gonna waste your time, or people that are gonna waste their time watching your videos and never implement it, your thought process doesn't make sense. Essentially is what I'm getting at. Your thought process doesn't make sense. Because if you think you're eliminating your competitive advantage by knowing the knowledge you have, not everyone's gonna be able to do it the way you can do it. Not everybody has had the time in the skin that you have had. So just by giving that information out, you're helping people. It's a good fucking thing to do. Rather than just fucking gatekeeping or charging people out the fucking ass for that. I put a lot of free information on my Instagram, on my TikTok and everything. But if you want personal one-on-one from me, absolutely, you gotta pay for time. 100%, you gotta pay for knowledge, 100%. But there's so much free knowledge out there. Tattoo artists are now realizing you don't have to gatekeep. you can help other people succeed. And I think that's fucking awesome. Yeah, so my educational program, my mentorship is more of a mentorship, right? So I don't really believe in the whole course thing, but I do believe in personal mentorship, and I do believe in group setting mentorship, because at the end of the day, when you have multiple minds working on one thing, that's where you get multiple perspectives. So like a problem that you couldn't solve for the longest time, when you have one person you're talking to that's been through all of it, like a personal mentor, one-on-one mentor, he is in the place where you want to go, he can answer that question. However, if you're in a place in the beginning and this person is 10 steps ahead already, but there's someone else in that group that's 3 steps ahead, he's closer to that experience of overcoming that obstacle that you're currently going over, right? So me going over it 2 years ago might be a different answer than someone who just overcame it in the last 6 months. Their last 6-month answer might be more applicable to your situation than mine was 2 years ago. So being in a group setting, I think, is way more beneficial, because like I said, you learn from people above you and below you. So me, in that mentorship setting, we have 2 calls a week, hour long, hour and a half long. It really goes on until it doesn't. The last call we had, typically they're an hour. Last call we had went on for hour and a half or 2 hours, and that call was super beneficial to not only them, but myself as well, because I learned some shit from some people in there as well, because everybody dabbles in something different. Me, I'm very big in content creation. I'm very big in organic content, but there are some people in there that do paid advertising, paid marketing. So getting that perspective from the paid side and how it tightly winds in together with the free organic side, there were so many dots that I connected in my head further than where I was already connected. So being in that group setting, you have so many different outlooks. You have, for me, 45 minds working on one problem rather than just 2, rather than just 5. So having that group setting, you're utilizing so many other people's thought process in one space, especially in that 1 hour where everyone's dedicated to the same thing. It's so fucking beneficial. It's insane. So that's also why I like seminars. Being in a seminar with 10 other people that paid the price to be there with you, you guys are all in the same place. You guys can all afford the same thing. You guys are on that same path. You're there to learn the same shit. How many minds does it take to really create that perfect answer? That's kind of how I see that. So I do the mentorship. I don't do the course. You can just sit there and recite shit on a course and buy it and have that information, but when are you really going to use that information? That's the thing. When you have a mentor, when you have somebody, especially a group, that's out there consistently posting what they're doing and how much better they're doing, it's encouragement for you to do better. You're sitting there like, okay, well, this person's doing 5 times the numbers he was doing in the beginning. Well, why is that? What is he doing different? Yo, what did you do? And it's such an open discussion. They're willing to tell you. They don't care. They're benefiting. They're doing their shit. They're improving on their own time. They're not here to hold you back. So one person that decided to utilize Snapchat over Instagram for clientele, that could have just unlocked a whole door for new clients every fucking month for that one person. Where previously you would think, oh, I thought Instagram was the game. Oh, I thought Twitter was the game. Nah, look at this. Look at that. This works better than this does for me because I'm 19 and I'm not 26. So depending on the demographic you're trying to hit that younger generation, what platform are they on all the time? Snapchat. So why wouldn't you utilize Snapchat, right? It's little conversations and mindset, the difference in mindset and mindset shifts that you see in a group setting as opposed to just a course or one-on-one. There's no human interaction in a course, I think. I think courses are fucking overplayed. I think courses are a money grab more than anything. So that's why I do that group mentorship setting. Everybody benefits more. It's way more beneficial for everybody. So bloodlines are just very thin gray lines. So I'll use my 20 and I'll dip it into my distilled and I will use that to bloodline a piece. And as long as the tone that you're using to bloodline is lighter than the tone that's actually being put into the skin to complete the piece, it's going to be a successful bloodline because that line's not going to show outside of your actual tone that you're laying into the skin. So when you are bloodlining, don't think as much, it has to be the lightest possible. Just as long as it is lighter than what you are shading through it, you will be fine. But remember, the skin is open around it. Whatever line you did, that skin is open. Remember, the skin is open. If you go over that skin too much, then that skin will heal a darker tone than the rest if it's not fully saturated. So full saturation is another big key to this. There was a time where I didn't fully saturate my pieces, which I think my fully saturated pieces heal way better now over time than the pieces where I would just kind of like feather and pendulum the piece. So I'm definitely a way bigger fan of full saturation than I was in the past, kind of learning and finding my way. Because again, I am more self-taught in black and gray than anything. So full saturation is a big key to that puzzle. When you're trying to get your work to have the most longevity possible, full saturation is everything. Understanding your black tones, understanding your light tones. There's a rule of thirds that that nobody really talks about as much when you're doing the rule of thirds with black and gray realism. You're doing 1/3 black, 1/3 grays, 1/3 skin tone. So as long as you have that good balance, that tattoo will last a long fucking time. And that's something I learned recently where it'll be super beneficial to utilize that. That has definitely helped me reflect light in a lot of my pieces. 1/3 skin tone, 1/3 black, 1/3 grays. If you do more than 1/3 in grays, your shit's gonna be muddy, it's not gonna look great. If you do more than 1/3 in black, it's gonna come out way, way, way too dark. If you do more than 1/3 skin tone, it's gonna look a little bit too light. So you're not gonna see any sort of line work. It's gonna look like you came in right with the mag and did it, rather than ran a straight black line and then packed around it. So that's one thing. That's one good utilization of those bloodlines, to really take away those harsh, dark lines and essentially make it look more realistic, because there are no lines in realism. When you're running, you're still stopping. Here, you're running a circle, but you're definitely spending more time at the top. You're spending more time at the peak. So what I want is a more consistent speed going around everything. Yep. That's crazy. That's crazy. Wow, why'd you gotta do that? Like, that's crazy. You've been coming from under. That's crazy. I'm Gump talking shit on the TV. Jenny. That's fucking stupid. Yeah, Waterboy is fucking hilarious. My mama said, my mama said, H2O. Yo. Yeah, this motherfucker was stupid, yo. He would just like meow and bark at people. That was the funniest shit, yo. Yeah, he would just be there. Yeah, dude, it'd be after he scored and shit, just standing there waiting, and he would just go fucking stupid. He'd be looking at me, fucking like thumbs up, and he'd just turn around and start barking at the deep hole. That was the funniest shit. That was the funniest shit. Look at Richie, yo. He's fucking losing it right now. That's how he used to be on the field. Like, my mama said. You have to show him your fucking footage, yo. Yeah. This clip they put on the opposing team's YouTube, and it was not a highlight for them. Show him that shit. Yeah, show them that shit. Oh, he was beating the shit out of kids, dude. What's the least sexiest thing about tattooing, essentially? Like, not sexiest. Yeah, all the bloodborne pathogen shit. Poke your hand with a needle on accident. That's the least sexiest thing to deal with. You gotta fucking stop, throw the needle out, fucking run your shit, get your blood drawn, do everything. Make sure you didn't catch nothing on the fucking way out. That is the least sexiest thing with tattooing. That fucking sucks. My favorite part of the tattooing process is seeing the person's reaction when it's done. That is my favorite part. The actual gratification. Not gratification, but is there gratification? Is that the right word I'm looking for? The actual gratification of the piece when it's done. Like seeing how happy they are and knowing I put that on them. My favorite part, hands down. Hands down, no question. Getting paid's cool, but it's nothing compared to the person's actual satisfaction of the piece. In the ART program, we go over the business aspect of tattooing primarily, just because that's something that's really not spoken about. A lot of people talk about tattooing and the art aspect, but nobody really talks about what goes on behind closed doors. So dealing with the actual business aspect with tattoo artists, because you're not just an artist, you're running your own business. Even if you work in a shop, you're still running your own business as a tattoo artist. You are your brand, so we go over all of the sorts of shit like that. Talk about what it takes, talk about what you need, dealing with accountants, dealing with how to create an LLC properly, how to do proper write-offs, tax advantages to being an artist, tax advantages to taking cash rather than fucking credit and all that type of shit, how to save clients money in the long run, like shit like that. Pricing strategies, that's a big one. We talk about pricing strategies all fucking day. Because I was talking to somebody last night about what they were doing. They were doing 10 to 12K a month, tattooing with a full day rate of $1,000. So he's running that, he upped his prices, lost a bunch of clients, which that's gonna happen, that's normal. But he's doing 10 to 12,000 per month, working 20 days out of the month with a $1,000 day rate, but he's fully booked out. That didn't make sense to me. So the problem he had wasn't a pricing problem, it was a scheduling problem. you're charging 1,000 a day, you should minimum be making 20,000 that month. You're only making 10 to 12, so half your days are booked. Why are you trying to up your prices? So if you up your prices, lose more clientele, and still keep booking the way you are, you're losing more money at the end of the day. So running the average across the last couple of months of his, it was 8.5K running per month, and if you run that down, it's like $426 per day that he's making. So if you discount your pieces from 1,000, go less from that, as long as you're making more than $426 on that full day session, technically you're making more money than you would have been. So the price tag a lot of people focus on, when in reality, that's not the problem. The problem isn't the pricing. Your price isn't the problem, it's how booked out are you, how organized are you, it's a scheduling issue. It's not a pricing issue. So I ran that down with him on a call last night for about an hour, and he understood it like that. Like, he thought about it, it took a second for me to break it through, I had to run the numbers, that's how I know the numbers off the top of my head, but he understood it, and now he's taking a different approach. He's very open to learning and taking on these type of challenges. So he went from a $1,500 day, which is what he's now promoting, which he booked out the first week for, but he only booked out that first week. Dropping back down to 1,000, people are gonna see that, his old clients are gonna come back, and if he can book out a month fully successfully, he's doubling his income. The problem isn't the problem that you think it is. So we go over shit like that all the time, especially when I work with you one-on-one. It's very easy for someone on the outside to see it, especially when you've had the experience and you've gone through that problem in the past. You don't up your prices unless you're booked out entirely. Like, if you're booked out 20 days a month, full day sessions, all that shit, then you can up your price and play with that because your demand is high. But if your demand isn't where it should be, and you're just upping your prices because you want to make more money, it might not be the proper solution or the appropriate solution to your issue. But we also spoke about finances and tax information is one of the biggest things that we speak about in there, because a lot of people don't really understand how taxes work, and they don't understand that you can write off anything as long as it's a business expense. So I buy my clients lunch every single day. It's a write-off. I'm doing something out of the kindness of my heart, and guess what? The government's gonna help me with that because they're gonna give you that money back. So as long as it's something that helps you operate or something you're doing within your business, cool. I've heard shit that if you go out to dinner with a client, you can write it off, business expense. If you went out to dinner with a loved one and you're just chilling there and you talk about tattoos and you hand a business card to the waitress and she hits you up, guess what? Business expense. It's little shit like that that people don't really recognize. As a creator too, if you're a creator, if you're just looking for shit to write off as a creator, you could write off everything you're wearing. So me, as long as I utilize this video, my boots, my jeans, my chains, I can write them off. And the chain's already an investment. So a lot of this shit you guys don't really recognize. You can write off everything. And if you want the actual document where I show you, I'll find it, because it's in the tax code. Because the creative space is such a new space, people don't really know, the government doesn't really know what should and should not be a write-off. Because if you're creating content, really everything you're utilizing is used for content. So if I go buy a fucking Lamborghini, I can write that off more than just the 80% because it's used for content as well. So you get to write it off. It's crazy how you write shit off. And it goes even further where if I buy the Lambo and I lease it out to my company, then it's a double write-off on both ends. And I'm leasing it. There's so many fucking, not loopholes, but strategies behind it. It's in fucking insane. And we go over all that shit. I've connected a lot of the artists in there with my accountant. My accountant, I'll fucking die by him. He's fucking phenomenal. But especially when you get in there, you also get the resources that I have. Yeah, we go over everything, man. The society we live in is so fucked and materialistic through social media. It's like a lot of people only see the socials. Only people see like, oh my God, she has this car. Oh my God, she's on this yacht. Holy shit, they're partying in fucking Miami in a yacht. Why are her tits out? Like, all these guys are seeing these guys post, and it's like, yo, I want to do that. I want to be there. Cool. Go, have some fun. But understand, some of those people that you're seeing, that's a one-night thing. It's not every night. Other people, they do that shit every night. If that's the life you want to live, figure out how to get there. Don't just glorify and sit on your phone and watch other people do the shit. Build it for yourself so you can be the person that's showing. You can be the person that's changing people's lives. Because even if you post a video of that and it inspires somebody else to get off their ass and really start pushing, guess what? You just changed somebody's life not knowing it. That's a big thing when I started content creation. I didn't know I was helping people. Like, I thought my shit was just funny and I was getting clients off it, but I started getting a lot of comments, a lot of DMs like, yo, your videos are dope. I love them. Like, they help me pass a dark time in my life. I'm sitting here, I'm like, I'd be throwing a peg cap. Like, what do you mean I'm helping you through a dark part of your life? Respond, thank you, like, I really appreciate it. And they would tell me about what they went through. And it's like, dude, like, I look forward to seeing your videos because they made me laugh at the end of a shitty day. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, little shit like that. It's crazy how you can have an impact on somebody's life. Just be intentional when you do it. You know what I mean? Like, my goal was to make people laugh. I didn't think I'd have an impact like that. The one thing also, little tidbit, fall in love with the process and trust the process. And for those who have been with me from the beginning, you guys know that used to be my shit. Trust the process, I say it in every video. It's on the wall right there, trust the process. I had it painted in this bitch. When you trust the process and you fall in love with the process, that's when you really win. Milestones are cool, they're fucking phenomenal. But when you fall in love with the process, that is where the game really begins. Right now we're halfway through the Nordic Compass. It's coming out really good. The detail in the tree is really, really nice. I'm really happy with how it's coming out. His skin did really, really well yesterday, but this is day 2. So day 2 is kind of difficult for some people. If your skin is too traumatized, or if you haven't had a tattoo in a really long time, your body's already in that, not shock state, but the state of rebuilding and healing. So day 2, sometimes people get more inflamed quicker. Some people don't saturate as quick. The second day can be tough, but majority of the time it's not. But for him, in his case, the stencil keeps rubbing off for some fucking weird reason. So I started to try to bloodline it, but the bloodline wasn't doing enough for me. So I just replaced the stencil. I'm letting it sit. I redrew the stencil actually. Placed it, let it sit. Now it's dry. I'm about to get back into it right now. And it should be good after this. It just takes a little bit longer when the skin doesn't want to saturate as well as it normally would, as quick as it normally would. So it's not as receptive to the ink. Exchange needles, new needles. It's not the sharpness of the needle. It's going in. I'm watching it. It's just bleeding a little bit quicker too as well. So I just think his body is kicking it in and starting to heal the tattoo already. So too much trauma in one area can lead to the ink not wanting to be, can lead to the ink not wanting to saturate. So that's what I'm but that's what I'm working with right now. We don't want the piece by the end of the day. However, there is a second half that he does want to get done. So even if we do finish the piece today, the entire piece is not finished. So we have another 2 days, probably in July, that we're going to book to really finish the lower half sleeve because it all goes together. And then he's going to work up. So we're going to see how that goes. But it is a full sleeve project, and this is just the second day of many to complete this project.
No rush, go on, move dumb. Back and forth, push and shove. Make your peace and love turn to peace and gloves. Now you got a deal run up. No rush, go on, move dumb. Back and forth, push and shove. Make your peace and love turn to peace and now you got a deal run up.
If you're gonna forget to call your address, you're gonna show up. At like 2 in the morning, hey!
Show up? He's going to shoot our shit up. What do you mean?
I found it. It took me a while, but I made it here.
I'm like that. Like duck hunt. He'll only live for a couple months. Like, I'll do it off season, you know what I mean? Like, so he has recovery time. You know?
I haven't laughed so hard. I haven't laughed this hard. So this is why I look forward to these days. Yo, that is too funny. You're definitely bleeding more today. You're getting more red today, without a question. So your body might just be a little bit over-traumatized for right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm running my machine slower. I'm being very servicey because I'm taking my time with it right now. Mm-hmm. I'm going to try 1 or 2 more spots to kind of see how it would run. And then kind of hop around the best I can to at least shade shit in. I look for guest spots. What I look for in artists is, I don't really look at it solely from like a money game. I look for quality. I look for the quality of the work. I'm looking to see if I can learn something from them, have them come in. I don't do a cut, I do booth rent, so they can be as profitable as possible. And so they don't feel essentially a pressure to need to book every single day. So what I do for guest artists is I have them come in for a certain amount of time. A week has a rate, 3 days has a different rate. Whatever they end up wanting to do and however long they want to stay. Booth rent, I don't do the cut. Cut, you're going to be more profitable because you're taking a portion of every single tattoo. I don't really want to do that. I want them to be more profitable. I want to learn something. If they have really, really good quality work and they have a good social media presence, I like having them in here. Even if they don't have a good social media presence, I like having good artists with experience in the game where I can learn something. I like having them here. I'm looking for knowledge. I like knowledge. I put knowledge over everything. So that's mainly what I look for when I look for a guest artist, tattoo artist. Yeah, we're looking at a lettering guy right now, one of the best black and gray artists I've ever seen. I'm looking for I'm looking at a different chick from LA to come over here. Phenomenal artist. She's very, very good with her style, and her style is very unique. That's kind of what I'm looking for when I'm looking for a guest artist. I think it's more about the talent that you bring in rather than making sure they have clients and making sure they can make you money, because it's not all about money for me specifically. Obviously, business, profit, it's about money. But when it comes down to adding somebody else into the pot from the West Coast coming into tattoo here, I want to learn more. If I get 2 guest artists at $2,000 a pop for the week, it's an extra $4,000 that week. So if I consistently do that every single week, yeah, it's a pretty penny. So I'm not upset with that whatsoever, especially when I gain the knowledge that I'm going to gain.
How long have you guys known each other now?
Not long enough.
I would say too long.
Not long enough?
Not long enough. To be acting the way we act? No, no way.
Whose fault was that? Yeah. Is there
It's our song. That's crazy. Yeah, like 4 years on and off. The last year and a half, I would say.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah, it's funny. I said.
I'm having a long talk. You shouldn't either. Open the curtains. Let the sun come in.
She doesn't like it, bro.
Neither do I.
I'll keep it open. I'll keep it open so the sun wakes me up. I love that shit. I love that shit. And I'll wake up in the morning and it's shut. I'm like, dude, let the sun wake you up. I love that shit.
Later, I have control of the curtains.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. I'm gonna get a timer. I'm gonna get a sun gauge for the fucking thing. Yeah, it's yeah.
His bedtime's like.
I'll go. She'll be asleep.
3 a.m.
She'll be asleep at 11. I'll go to bed at 1. Then I'll fall asleep. Everything's open. I'll wake up at 8 to my alarm and it's shut. I'm like, when the fuck did you get up? She's like, oh, I woke up at 3, had a bowl of cereal and stayed up till 5. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, that's good.
Made a sandwich.
And I'm knocked the fuck out.
You got a deal right now. No rush, go on move. Back and forth, push and shove. Make your peace and love turn to peace and gloves. Now you got a deal right now. No rush, go on move down. Back and forth, push and shove. Make your peace and love turn to peace and. Now you got a deal right now. No rush, go on move down. Back and forth, push and shove. Make your peace and love turn to peace and. Now you got a deal right now. Whole gang, whole man, old school, young jam, all black, MZ, still screaming out of that chain gang.
Close. All right. Halfway done with the Nordic Compass. We're finishing up for today because the skin is a little bit raw, so I'm gonna leave it. I don't want to cause any damage to the skin. It's a little bit more rough up top, and now it's starting to get a little bit beat. So instead of risking it scarring and getting bad quality out of the heel, I am postponing it because he has to come back anyways to do the inside. So that's what I'm going to start with the next 2 sessions that we hit. Finish that up, start the inside, and then finish the inside on the second day. Yeah, sucks that we weren't able to finish. It's for the better. Everything happens for a reason. I'm not willing to fuck up the skin or the tattoo in order to get it done in a time frame. Tried a couple different things, ran the machine faster, ran it slower, diluted the ink a little bit more, let it take a couple witch hazel baths today. Did what I could to essentially reduce the redness, reduce the irritation, but it didn't want the ink. Should have gotten more done though, needless to say. Essentially, I'm not the happiest with it, but I'm very happy with how it came out. I wish it could have been done. It's life, shit happens. Deal with it, roll with the punches. Go from there.
Go on, move down. Back and forth, push and shove. Make your peace and love turn to peace and gloves. Now you got a deal right up. No rush, go on, move down. Back and forth, push and shove. Make your peace and love turn to peace and. Now you got a deal right now. No rush, go on, move down. Back and forth, push and shove. Make your peace and love turn to peace and gloves. Now you got